What's up, y'all? It's your boy FD in the building. Got a very special guest. He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He is Mr. Thomas. And we're going to talk about one topic. Businesses, entrepreneurship, and Forex scamming. Hey, 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 hey. Yeah, we turn up in the building. All right, in all seriousness, I do have a very special guest in the building, the leading entrepreneur in the country, the #1 most requested black businessman. He is a leader from Johnson Smith. Give it up for Mr. Thomas. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Danny. Doing great. How you been?
I'm good, man. It's good to hear you, man.
Yeah, it's definitely great to be on. Really appreciate the invite.
Yeah, no problem, man. So we're just gonna get into it. Let's talk about black businesses and entrepreneurship. We all know that in the black community, there's very few businesses and everything. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think as of right now, I feel like it's kind of like the renaissance of black businesses. I've been reading like every so often like another black business has started or like another big one has been really reaching off. I feel like in the past it's been kind of a struggle as far as black businesses. But I feel like right now we in like kind of the bloom of the black business renaissance, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's some agreement with you on that. I do see more black businesses getting started now, but I'm talking for a long time sustaining black businesses. I'm not talking just like, these little entrepreneur businesses. I'm talking big established black businesses like major institutions like the black banks, the black hospitals, the black schools, the black media, those type of businesses.
As far as that, I feel like we did have a couple hiccups in the past where we did started a lot of our black business like on Black Wall Street or even right after slavery. People don't really talk about the Wilmington riots where we did have our own black city where we have everything black owned until the white people felt threatened enough to burn it down to the ground and just call it a measly riot. It was definitely a terrorist attack on the black people. It took them years to even to reform a whole another Black Wall Street within Oklahoma. After that happened, once we have a somewhat start, they kind of bomb it out. And now I feel like we're trying to research it again, but where we're really trying to submit the whole black culture, black businesses. I feel like the rise of social media and the HBCUs really helped resurgence the black entrepreneurial spirit and the black community within business ownership.
I definitely agree with you on that. There has been some hiccups in the past with Oklahoma and the race riots or the massacre. I'm gonna call it what it is—a massacre. It was a massacre. People were being slaughtered. They literally bombed them. The United States government bombed Tulsa, Oklahoma, and it's just sick to me that you had a thriving black town or a black community, and then they try to tear it down. It just sickens me when that happens.
Yeah, I kind of hate when other minorities, even white people, that why y'all don't build something for yourself. We've been here for so long, but we don't have anything for ourselves, and people not scared to say or told them that we did it countless times. And every time we try to have a foot in the economics of the black in the United States, they always, if they don't benefit it directly, they always try to burn it down. But I feel like the Asian culture have their own little hub in each city, and have their own little Chinatown or Koreatown. And even the Italians and Hispanics are known for their own little economic cities respectfully, but if it's not entertainment or if it's not something we own, I feel like one, they won't really support it, or they will try and tear it down, or two, we're so used to us as a black community not used to us owning stuff. When we do try to start our own business, they always want a handout or a shortcut. Instead of supporting a black business, they would rather support other big brands or supporting white families instead of black families.
Hmm. Yeah, I do see it a lot of times. I remember I have my own personal testimony where a lot of people wanted to support it. A lot of people said, "Oh, I don't have enough money." They trying to give up with the come up. They're like, "Hey, can you give it half price and everything?" And da 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 da. Da. I'm like, "No, it's a black business. You're gonna pay the full price. Stop trying to look for a shortcut and support black businesses." They're like, "Oh, well, is this and that?" I said, "Well, you support white businesses. Why don't you support the black businesses?" They get all quiet and stuff. I'm like, "This is the problem with our community. There's lack of support in our for our own community and everything, and for our own businesses. It's like they don't want to support and everything. They don't. It's like they don't want to believe in a black business because we've been dependent on white owned businesses for so long that when it comes time for to build for ourselves, we don't know where to begin."
I feel like as of right now, it's a little bit. I think we do a little bit more better as entrepreneurs, really putting our foot down, not really kind of devaluing myself by giving people half solves and stuff like that. And I feel like we need to go more towards people that value our stuff instead of, I know aunties and uncles, that one has off, or any friends that one has off, if they don't value you, you shouldn't really create that business. Because once you start giving half off or doing stuff like that, they will start mouth to mouth marketing. They will try to tell people, "Hey, can give you something half off," or they probably indirectly without them knowing devaluing your own business, something that you took hard work and sweat and tears to do. That's why I've been learning with the past couple of years to just finding people that value my business instead of the first time it was very hard to, you just want to make that sale and like, yeah, I give you half off, or yeah, I can give you a mini discount. But once you start, they will definitely keep coming back. Well, you did it the last time. It's one of those things where you got to stand your ground and find a loyal customer base that really see your value, what it is. There's other communities where you don't really, it would be disrespectful to ask for a discount or a half off. But I don't feel like, as of right now, people treated black businesses as that in the past. But I feel like we are now in a place where we're putting our foot down, and it's definitely a lot of big business starting up. As far as like, I know there's a lot of restaurant chain that's black owned that's really coming up. I know a lot of clothing lines of black owners that are really coming up where high value, high quality, and they're really doing good for themselves.
Yeah, that's very important to have high quality businesses to support them and just believe in them and just continue to pour the money into business, because without the businesses, there's no real institutions, or we can get no ground to finance the movements and everything else. Did you know, like, back in the 1960s, most of the movements that we had, the civil rights movement and the Black Power movement, they were both financed by black businesses. So black businesses and black power go hand in hand. I just wanted to throw that out there to people for questioning how does this relate to black power and stuff. It does relate to it, because without the businesses, you can't finance the movement.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it was kind of where a lot of businesses in the Black Power movement really, as far as business and movement, was kind of in one accord of what they want to accomplish. I think that was kind of the biggest thing of the black movement. Instead of fighting for equal rights, which was the ultimate goal, they have minor goals they want to accomplish. For example, desegregating public transportation, desegregating schools, desegregating all these other things. Instead of just looking for equal rights, they have a lot of smaller wins that help fight for their own ultimate goal. And with the small businesses or the black businesses, instead of looking for white loans, where we couldn't even get proper loans in the bank due to unfairness of banking back in the day, as far as really colorism, we had to support ourselves and get small business loans for that as well. Even with the HBCU, which was a lot of the funding was coming from, it was really the young people like us that had nothing to lose, really with the forefront of everything that was going on in that era.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, because back in the day, and it still is today, it's always young people that inspires change and everything. Remember the Black Panthers? They were young people. They were in their 20s and in their late teens doing this. Martin Luther King, when he first started, was in his 20s doing it. Fred Hampton was in his 20s. All his people were young people. Malcolm X, he said that it is this generation of young people that will inspire change and that will change the way things currently are. So.
Yeah, I think just people definitely around that era, our age and older, which are having kids and having already cemented in our jobs, we have way more to lose than someone that just freshly out of high school and have nothing of great value to lose during the or fighting for change. Not saying it was no one 25 and over. However, they wasn't as willing to put their bodies and their views on the line to get what they want.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. And then speaking of businesses and everything, we're going to transition into the counter to that, which is because there's a lot of growth in black businesses and everything else, you also have the rise of scamming going around. You have, pyramid schemes, and recently there was another scheme called Forex, where it's Forex trading, where I've done some research. It is real, but the way how people present it, it's as if you're going to get quick, fast, and easy money. How do you feel about the rise of scams and scamming in general?
As far as that, as I feel like the way they communicate it is kind of off. I feel like if it's now, it's definitely an era of everybody's open, everybody have a side hustle, everybody knows that you work in 9 to 5, and also if you want to create something else outside what you're doing, you have to have a side hustle. I feel like they definitely had a kind of monopoly of that in the last 1 or 2 years during the peak of the pandemic. However, I feel like they shouldn't. I'm not really fully sure about their business model of it, but any business, no matter what, it's not a quick cash cow of you make money in the next 25 hours. It's more of a long term creating growth type of thing, which the few people I've seen that I think they kind of slowed down is that they're trying to make it more of a fast-paced, exciting type of thing, which it really wasn't. I'm not saying the business model don't work. However, it's not a quick pace type of thing. It's really more of a long-term type of, you have to know what you're doing type of thing. Yeah, that's all I have for that.
When it comes to scamming in general, I feel like, hey, it's not, businesses should not be quick, fast, and in a hurry. Businesses need to take time to develop their clients and develop their intel and everything else. Whenever you have scammers, I call them wannabe entrepreneurs, because they want to be, because they have the quote unquote mindset, but they lack the discipline. They lack the work to put in and everything else in order, because they want to make this quick, fast money. They want to be quick to scam. They just want, I want the money now, and everything now. When it takes time to develop those businesses and everything, those ideas, and put them into fruition. It may take several years before you even make a profit. I've seen some case studies where businesses fail within the 5 years. But I feel like that's due to not long-term planning. They don't plan ahead. They don't keep ahead of the times. They just want to be like, oh, we're going to look at this time now and everything else. But what happens within 5 years? What happens within 10 years? You have to look at the trends and know what's going on around you in the world and everything in order to make your business profit. So I feel like a lot of times with scammers, they just want the quick. They go after people who are in a quick, fast, and in a hurry to get the money and everything. But they don't realize the cost of what it means to get the money in terms of like the perseverance and the discipline and the work. That's why they always want to scam.
Well, I feel like just outside looking in, I don't really have any hardcore fighting for nothing to really quote, but just the outside observer looking in, but people I know who is doing it, it do look fun, do look trendy. However, all this stuff they're showing, they can't really explain, or there's just a lot of stuff that's going on of where they kind of talk a good game. However, if someone is not really aligning, or someone not really into the entrepreneur mindset, I see a lot of times they kind of bash them, where like, hey, you're not making a business or doing some hustle. You slave to the really the 9-to-5 lifestyle, or stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
However, I did see people that was very successful with this planet within the last couple of months, really made money moves where they did retire. So I'm not saying it's a scam. I'm just saying the business model do take a level of discipline. It do take a level of dedicated hard work. It's not money for nothing. Is not really something like that. However, the way they market it and the way they present it and communicate it to the people is it shows like fast paced, but really something you have to really dedicate yourself to do. But like I said, I know people that did very well in the Forex market, where they was able to retire from their job. They were able to pay a lot of money on the side. So I'm not saying it's not possible to pay a revenue in their market. However, as far as I feel like it was still trendy, because it wasn't really longevity to Forex, where you can see where the curves or the dips will be. I don't know how old it is, but it's probably less than a decade old, so it's very hard to show if it's going to be a long-term type business or not. So, am I making sense?
Yeah, I understand everything you're saying, and I agree with most of everything you're saying. I do know, like I said before, I do know some people who are successful with the Forex, but I'm saying in terms of the business model and how it is conducted, where you make it seem like it's quick, fast, in a hurry, but really it's, like I said before, it takes discipline, it takes time. You have to really dedicate your time and your hours and everything else into that Forex, because you're not going to make the money quick. But some people, how they present it, it's going to be quick, fast, in a hurry. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's we're definitely on the same mindset as far as that. We're both saying it the same thing. I think I'm saying it more of a long term, kind of breaking it down, but I'm definitely, this the way it's communicated and executed as far as marketing to the outside people looking in is very not quick money. As far as you can make money, however, my mindset is more long term type of money. How long I can do this to where I can make generational wealth. And I don't haven't did any formal studies or like Forbes business type stuff, but a business model like that that's less than 10 years is very hard like to see the longevity of it. So it's something, if you want to make quick money and that's what you want, or that you try just to make a couple bucks, a couple $100, and that's what you want, go all for it. But I'm looking for more of a business model where you can more longevity and you can scale it up for where I'm not in the office doing all the work myself for 40 years, which is going to be like another like 40 years, because as far as business ownership, it's still in an active income kind of style of making money. You still, instead of the traditional 40 hours a week in a job, what you know is like a online, a small business in itself, you probably put in about 50 to 70 hours just to get it off the ground consistently. I know you probably understand, because you do a lot of entrepreneurship yourself, as far as your books and the podcast, which is a business in itself. It's still, you put a lot of time and effort in it. And I feel like by Forex, it's not the business model where I want to create generational wealth. It's not what I'm looking for as far as a way to make money. I feel like once people understand how to make money and what ways you want to make money, when people come up with you to like a business opportunity or anything, it's easier to make sense of what my long-term goals are. And if it lines up with my values, it was when someone came up to me about it, it wasn't what I wanted to do. It didn't line up to my long-term goals.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and overall, I agree with everything you're saying. And what I was gonna say was, when it comes to businesses and entrepreneurship, it does take time. You have to put discipline and everything. When it comes to putting the work in and developing yourself and putting the long hours and planning ahead, all that takes time, and it's not quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, what are your closing thoughts on this whole scamming, entrepreneurship, and business plan and everything? What are your closing thoughts on this whole entire topic?
I would say, like you said, any business you do takes a lot of time, effort, and really dedication. It's not an overnight success. It probably take you 5 to 6 years to get to the overnight success. However, if you are looking for any business model or anything as far as business, I would first read the book 21st Century Business by Robert Kiyosaki, which goes over how money actually is made through like passive and active income. It's a really good book, really good guide for like an introduction of business on how you want to create a business model for yourself or more of like entrepreneurship. on any type of business that's come your way. It was one of my first books when I got introduction to entrepreneurship. And as far as Forex, I'm not going to deter you away from it. However, I would definitely do your own research, look into what type of money you want to make, and really make sure it aligns to what you want to do long term instead of short term. And that's pretty much my closing thoughts.
My closing thoughts are as follows. Plan ahead. It takes time. There's no quick and easy money. That's whether you follow that business model, you'll understand how entrepreneurship and business work. It takes time to build the wealth and to get where you want to go. It's not going to be quick and fast and easy money. This is not the TV shows. This is not the movies. It takes real, actual work to put in order to get your business successful. And that's my closing thoughts in this excellent episode of Dab and Daniel Podcast, The Black Evolution. Please go online and go get that book that Thomas recommended by Robert Kiyosaki. You'll learn everything you need to know about the business world and America and how to basically make your own money and know about past and present income. This is The Black Evolution. We're signing off and listen to this outro music. Hey.